What's up, you guys, and welcome to my channel. So today I want to share something with you, but most importantly, I'm talking to those of you that feel like you vouched for a fascinating season and it didn't happen, and I mean 2025, and now you're questioning like, um, is it just a complimentary sample to what God is doing? Am I in the right field, right endeavor? Am I doing the right things? Am I being dismissive? Um, doing the things that God is calling me to do? Am I playing the part? You just have so many questions that has left you uncertain, and you've just been very, very doubtful about where you're going and what you're doing. I have something that I want to share with you in my book that is entitled Verified. And I came across it this morning, and it just reminded me of what purpose looks like. I am a purpose advocate, so anytime something that literally sparks my spirit, or it just tends to linger, I feel like I should share because maybe someone else need to hear this. So the introduction in this book goes, I had a fascinating dream where I found myself as an adult in my childhood neighborhood, a place that triggered memories of a difficult period in my life, particularly due to my parents' divorce. My mind often revisits those challenging stories that are hard to erase or forget. This tumultuous time was marked by chaos and internal struggles. However, the dream acted as a catalyst, prompting a shift in my perspective. I found myself sitting in a lawn chair with two other girls while people strolled leisurely through the community. A friend from across the street pointed out airplanes, creating circular patterns above us. As we chatted, she called out, asking if I found it unusual. Moments later, one plane flew closer, nearly within reach, as if I could touch it with my nose. This experience mentally opened a path to the journey God has laid out, highlighting his timing and intentions for my life. God operates gracefully, guiding us through difficult circumstances. The road ahead is a reminder that divine plans often exceed human comprehension. People inherently hold various opinions and beliefs, complicating the search for one's purpose. We navigate a world with social injustice tied to race, gender, appearance, or socioeconomic status create unequal opportunities, preventing individuals from realizing their full potential. Despite societal labels, God sees the inherent worth of every person. Holding on to faith is vital, as it anchors us and it provides a solid foundation for growth while inspiring those around us. Your peak season will involve others, but the elevation lies in God's hands. I want to stress that while people remain grounded, God surpasses thoughts, plans, and injustice. You will know when God is ready to lift you to new heights and trade in old memories for new ones. One thing that I want to point out is most often we feel discouraged and we feel like our life has just been disrupted simply because, again, purpose involves other people. And just because it involves other people, it does not always mean that it is for your benefit or they're around because they want to see you win or they want to see you thrive and fulfill purpose. Some people are there to simply stop you from fulfilling purpose. And again, I want to remind you that inherently, sometimes we take on the beliefs, the opinions, the difficult circumstances that we're going through in life or that we have gone through, and we continue to carry that baggage around. If we cannot deal with the capacity of things here on ground level, how do you expect God to take you higher? Because there's going to be turbulence even when you go higher. But you have to be ready mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually to move higher. And there are some things that you got to let go, whether those things are old beliefs that train you, shape you, and mold you in the home that you were raised in. A lot of us, we were raised in a home where that was the place where we took a breath every day. That was the environment where we seen something that may appear to be normal, but not really normal. Or maybe you was raised in an environment where everything was good and you were trained well. However, God has still given to you a personality of your own. And God, just hear God saying, this is your peak season. This is your peak season, meaning this is your peak season that sometimes you have to lay aside things of old and you have to step into the identity that God is calling you into. I was reading another one of my books entitled The Iridescent Truth also on last night. I don't know why I was picking up these books, but I came across the first chapter in the book The Iridescent Truth, and I read where it said I was coming through the parking lot on my job, and I remember having my purse on my shoulder, which was heavy, and I had other items that I was carrying. So I remember stopping midways of going inside of the building, and I had to rearrange what I was carrying because things were beginning to fall, and it was a struggle to carry my bags and my items. And it was like instantly, I just heard the voice of God say, sometimes the weight that we carry determines like how we carry it. I know sometimes we go through things and we just can't erase the seasons that we're going through because some of those seasons are meant to go through. But the struggle and the battle comes from how we carry things. And most often when things appear in our lives unpredictable, then the things of old that we haven't let go, we're still trying to carry that, then we mishandle our season that God currently have us in. And so God is saying inherently we still are holding on to various things that is keeping us from being elevated. He's saying, I keep sending this plane to pick you up, to take you up. And even when you look up, you see the turbulence and then there's fear. What is it inside of you that makes you fearful to move up? Because you're still holding on to old things that is connected to fear, and you are aborting the thing that God is calling you to. You have to abound in victory and triumph and trust in the Lord's plans for your life, because that's what's going to make you prosperous. That's what's going to make you successful. What are you afraid of letting go of? If those things have you in a place where they have marked you, where you feel like every circumstance has kept you in this place of darkness, has kept you in this place of mediocrity, where you're sitting back and you're watching everybody else fulfill purpose, everybody execute their plans and their goals, but yet you're still in the same place. Most often it's because the memories that are stored inside of you, the hardship, the difficulties that are still stored inside of you, not just in your heart, but also in your mind. And if you keep playing those things over and over and over, you'll start to register with things of old. And God is saying you can't board this flight if you keep on taking on these old memories. This dream that I had in this book called Verified, seeing myself in my old community was a very tumultuous time in my life. My parents were going through a divorce and it was such a struggle. And I would just remember it being such a hard time for me. But God was showing me that even in that, he was like, my hands was upon you and you were built for purpose. You were built for the things that I've called you to. So when we sit in silence, when no one else is around, and we start to question what God is calling us to do, you have to determine that I'm going to knock this thought out because it cannot run with me to the next base. I'm going to knock this thought out because it does not mean me well. It is a sheep in wolf clothing, and the only thing it is trying to do is mimic the new version of who I am, the new version of who you are, so that it can board with you. But God is saying, yeah, you got to call that thing out. You got to confront that thing. And most importantly, sometimes, baby, we got to ignore it. Don't listen to the voice. Don't listen to the whispers, because the word of God tells us that if you resist the enemy, it will flee. Anything that is from your past that does not mean you well, you cannot board this new life or this new version or this prosperous place or this future that God is calling you to, and you're still holding on to old substance. You're still holding on to your old identity. You're still trying to fulfill old loyalties. You're still operating in old patterns and old traits. because that's how you were trained, that's how you were molded, and things of familiarity you have become accustomed to, and now you're trying to move forward. But God said, I'm stripping you. So if you're wondering why is it that I'm going through a hard time, no, it's not because God is not hearing you. It's not because God is punishing you, but God said, I am stripping you from those old layers. In other words, you will never just stay the same. You're going to always grow. I heard a young lady the other day saying that a key where you unlock things and what it represents. She said, keep educating yourself. Yes, keep educating yourself. Keep reading God's word. Keep downloading whatever it is that's going to push you into your next level. And the more the new things push you into your next level, then those old things will fall off. Those old traits, they will fall off. Your appetite will change for those things. Trust me, they will fall off. Trust me, the more you give your attention to the new, then you ignore the old things, they will fall off, right? Because anything that you entertain, baby, they're going to come along with you. They're going to tag along with you, but they're going to tear you down. And no matter how you try to rearrange them, they will be a barrier. Let them go. Let them go. And so I had to let some things go. But it was just those moments. This is why God said, have an ear to hear. Because in those moments where I had coming through the parking lot, had I not had an ear to hear God, I would have thought it was just, a casual moment. Just this casualty moment of me strolling through the parking lot. No, that was revelation right in that moment. I was struggling just to get out of my car into the building to clock in to go to work. And God stopped me right in my tracks. Here I am trying to shuffle things around. There were some things that I had to let go. There were not amenities. I had to let some things go. Some things from the past, old difficult circumstances, conditions, trauma, hurt, wounds, like residue. Let those things go. Why do we continue to play certain narratives in our head? It just reminds you that you haven't healed from something and you haven't let it go. And it's like you continue to put yourself on trial and you continue to be judged from things of old. Let them go. Some people may not understand the new version of you. Some people may misunderstand who you are becoming and why you are the way that you are because you're setting new boundaries. Oh, they'll say things like, she's changed or he's changed. You've healed. And yes, you've changed. So now the new version of yourself, it raises a standard. And sometimes it intimidates the person that was able to manipulate the old version of you. The one that could control the old identity. So the new you is no longer beneficial because you leveled up, because you kept healing, because you got the key and you kept educating yourself. Because now you know that your signature is timeless. You know that you are different, you're set apart. That's what happened. Keep leveling up. Keep growing. Keep developing. Keep being fruitful. And keep rising to the top. And don't be afraid of the turbulence that God shows you. Because you are built for this. And God has you covered. He is your refuge and He is your fortress. And I just wanted to remind you that you are verified. God has already verified you. You don't need validation. You don't need the opinions of others. You don't need other people to push their beliefs off on you. You know who you are and you know what you were created to do. And that's a good work. And that's why you are unique, distinct, and set apart. I love you, and I'm rooting for you. And if it be God's will, I cannot wait to see you into 2026. Love you.